Christian nationalism kills Christians, and arguably it kills Christians militantly more than many other things have throughout history. Let me explain. So, in the 4th century, Constantine legitimizes Christianity in the Roman Empire. Great. Over time, though, Christianity becomes increasingly intertwined with state, with governments, and things start to get a little iffy in various situations. Compound this over centuries, and you get to the point of the early Reformation. You have reformers like Jan Hus, who have criticisms of the church, and who subsequently are killed not necessarily only by the church, but by the governing authorities in tandem with the church. This is a component of what Christian nationalists want today, the unifying of the objectives of church and state. Here's the problem. When church and state unify, it is not state that is redeemed by the church, but church which is corrupted by the state. Continue on a few hundred years as the Reformation gets underway, we have the European wars of religion. For hundreds of years, different conflicts, the worst of which arguably is the 30 Years' War. In this war, millions of people are killed, millions of civilians even, because of state actors utilizing religion as a pretext for violence, for opportunities to seize power and control. Now, is this an exact equivalent for what Christian nationalists argue for today? Not quite, but the same key components are there. And a Christian nationalist might say, well, no, they weren't really quite Christian nationalists back then, or they weren't really Christians, they were just someone taking advantage of Christianity. To which I would say, you know what? Communists say the exact same thing. Stalin wasn't really a communist. Mao Zedong wasn't really a communist. Communism doesn't really do that. This is what communism actually is. Now, it's baked into the formula of what your ideology results in. I received this comment yesterday, well, all of the colonies initially were Christian nationalists, and it's like, well, not really quite. But yes, 7 of the 13 did originally have state-sanctioned churches, 6 did not, and 10 did gather tithes in some form on behalf of the church. Let's talk about Mary Dyer. She is a martyr, a Christian martyr, who was killed by Christians in what would come to be the U.S. for her faith, for her specific Christian doctrines. She was killed because she believed that faith saves. And the Puritans of New England did not like what she was teaching. They felt that she was undermining local church authority. They exiled her from Boston. She returned after feeling compelled by the Holy Spirit that she needed to continue preaching the gospel there in Boston, and then she was killed for it. So no, I don't support Christian nationalism because it's always someone's specific, very narrow interpretation of Christianity. And every time anything like Christian nationalism has ever been implemented, it has provided far too much potential for corruption of the church and abuse of our faith by those who have priorities other than Christ.